Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here and a privilege to be here along with my colleagues in government, beginning with the governor, the congressman, the treasurer, my good friend, Mayor James Diossa. I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight. You know, as Mayor Diossa just mentioned, we as mayors, we're, on the front lines. And, there are many aspects to the job of mayor, but I think that perhaps the most important role of a mayor, and I certainly spend a good bulk of my time doing this, and that's bringing people together. And it seems that, over the past year, those forces that bring us apart perhaps have grown stronger and louder than they've ever been, at least in many of our lifetimes. And so, as I listen to the rhetoric and I hear what comes out of Washington, D.C. and the national stage and our president-elect, I'm certainly anxious, and I know folks in our community and in our neighborhoods, they're scared. And what I've tried to do over the past month is reassure people that regardless of what you may hear coming from our president-elect here in the city, they're going to hear a very different voice and a very different tune. And I've been so proud to see the way that the community has come together to stand up against hate, has come together to reassure the most vulnerable in our community that we are going to stand with them, that we're going to move forward and we're not going to leave anyone behind. And even with the threat of withholding federal funds, if we dare stand up for the most vulnerable, we're going to be fine. We're going to find a way to educate our children. We're going to find a way to keep our streets safe. We're going to find a way to move forward as a community. We will not sacrifice a single soul who's a member of our community. And so I'm so proud that our city has stood up and come together very loudly to let that be known. And so no one knows what the next month, year, 4 years has in store. Perhaps not even the next president-elect knows what lies in store. You think? But what I am absolutely sure of is that our city will continue to make us proud because we will stand up for those values and principles that define us as a people, that make us who we are. And I look forward to working with the administration if there are projects that we can agree on. But there are certain principles and values that we will never compromise on. And what the whole world will know is that here in Providence, we stood up. We stood up against injustice and we stood up against hate. And so thank you for that. But we're here to talk about gun violence and those folks that we've lost. I stand with my partners in government in calling on the General Assembly to pass common sense gun control measures. And to be honest with you, I struggle on this issue, and I'll tell you why I struggle on this issue. If anyone has a good argument why someone who has been convicted of domestic violence should be able to own a handgun, please let me know. If anyone can come up with a convincing argument for why you should be able to carry military-grade assault rifles with high-capacity magazines in our streets, please let me know. I have to admit that I don't understand the other side of that issue. This is sensible, it is common sense, and it is high time that here in our own state, we pass these gun control measures. And we're all doing our part. Here in the city, I've convened by executive order a gun violence task force. We meet regularly, we strategize, we think through these issues, and we work together as a community. I've held a regional gun violence summit, bringing together the mayor from Boston and mayors from throughout New England to talk about how we can work in partnership, because the traffic of guns and drugs and violence, they don't respect municipal boundaries or state boundaries. They travel freely, so we're working together to address it. And as Mayor Cicilline mentioned, and one thing that I will admit that I wasn't prepared for when I became mayor is that this job entails you be that person who comforts a family and comforts mothers when they've lost their son and when they've lost their daughter. I've done it many times. I know Mayor Cicilline has done it multiple times as well. And I'll tell you what I've learned from that experience. Again, what fills me with so much optimism and pride for our people is that I've seen it time and again where a mother has lost her son or daughter to gun violence. And they grieve, of course, but after they're done grieving, I see them at our rallies. I see them at community events. I see them at fundraisers. And the message that I hear from them every single time is, I lost my child, but I'm going to do everything that I can so that no mother ever has to deal with that again in our community, and that is beautiful. And so this spirit of resilience, this spirit of optimism, is what gives us the strength to continue on when we feel that anxiety, when we feel that concern of not knowing what lies ahead. So I want to thank everyone who has made this issue their issue. And I want you to know that all of us in elected office, all of us who are here, we stand with you today, and we will stand with you always to make sure that we pass sensible gun violence measures, that we take whatever measures we can at the local level, and that we stand in solidarity with our mothers and our community members so that this doesn't happen to another member of our community. God bless.